Okay, so let's have a look at Joe Miller, current European long driving champion and ex-REMAX champ. Let's have a look at his driver. So let's just start with the swing from multiple angles. So let's slow that down. Have a look at the Casio image as well from the angle. So let's start with the data that we've got from FlightScope. So clubhead speed 135, thereabouts. Joe actually swings it slightly slower indoors than he does outdoors. Carry distance 296. Well, the actual trees at the background there, when the ball goes into those trees, which is in excess of 290 yards, the FlightScope actually loses track of the ball. So slightly off those carry distances, because we know Joe carries it well over 300 yards. So let's have a little look. So as stated, as we mentioned in his 7-iron swing and written by Kelvin Miyahara, we've got his upload, Joe's upload there, so slight spine extension, just a very, very small pelvic move there, and standing the shaft up slightly allows Joe to upload. This move moves his COP to his right, as we can see. As much as 80% of his pressure goes to his right side on his backswing. Obviously this upload is key to his download and his downswing. So let's stop Joe at the top and have a little look. It's a great rotation of his upper body. Definitely a free rotation of his lower body as his pelvis is looking towards the camera here. He's unweighted his lead foot here. His left hip there is in internal rotation. So he's not holding anything back here at all. Great, fantastic arc that he's got, very wide arc, slightly bent left arm as well, which is something that his coach Lee Cox and Joe have worked on there, sort of bending that left arm to get an extra power lever. So as he starts down, so we've got some K-Vest data from Joe's sort of transition, and there's very little X-factor stretch. Actually just 3 degrees, so he pretty much turns everything on the way down. There's a fantastic right elbow move that drops this, that sort of slightly shallows the shaft plane there, drops the club head behind his hand path there. A tremendous move. There's a download, there's a squat as his head goes down, and there is a quite brilliant extension there. Early extension, hip thrust, which starts to shallow out the club a little bit more, opens the club face as we can see, and then Joe's forearm rotation closes the club face from here, post impact. And the data from the K-Vest 6D was that he had higher than tour average rotation, so he really does square that club face up through impact. He's got this kyphotic spine position here as well, which counters his early extension. Fantastic release of the club and through, incredibly dynamic. So let's have a look at the Casio image here. So big shift up, big shift off onto his trail side, pressure moves right, gets right behind it here. Big, long, wide arc. So a stop here. Dual external rotation of his hips. His right leg stays, right hip stays externally rotated for as long as possible. This creates this squat. So he really goes down into the ground, which enables him to extend, thrust, rotate his arms, jump, release, some lead wrist extension there as well. And right through into his left heel. So that follow through. So we're just going to go back, obviously utilising body track technology as well, so we've got a little bit of pressure data as well. So Joe's head up, his spine extension, his pelvic move and his lift up and step right, gets his pressure almost 80% onto his right side. His transition and his shift to the left side, heavily muted COP action here. So Joe obviously needs to mute that, because these power guys, to launch the ball up with these low lofted clubs, their COP tends to go very quiet, the movement here. If anything, we sometimes see the guys recoil their COP back to their right side as they launch the ball upwards to get this upward angle of attack, and then everything shifts over to his left side. An amazing swing there, with tremendous power. Thank you to Joe and of course Lee Cox at the Shire Golf Club. Very privileged to have this footage.